Hi guys. Well, today I'm not in the studio, but I'm in my office because I forgot to bring all my stuff for my video recording. So I'm back in my office and now I'm gonna record what I did for the radio show this morning. So the episode 9 for Law in Our Life, a legal segment of City. Oh, what is it? City of Light, GFN radio. So today's topic would be defamation. Cool, right? So many of you have heard about some horror stories about writing the bad review about your employer or the product that you used, and later got a call from your employer saying like, if you don't delete it, I'm gonna sue you or I'm gonna report you to the police because you violated the law and you committed defamation. So it's quite threatening, right? The typical example would be like this. So let's say that you found a job posting on the website and then you applied for it. Later, you learn that your employee does not pay you on time and there is other stuff that it's not what matches with what the job description says. So you felt you were deceived and you want to write a bad review about the employer just to let the people know there is a bad employer like this. So if you write a bad review, they will say that if you don't delete it, I'm gonna sue you. So is it true? The related legal article is Article 70 of Act on Promotion of Information and Communications Network Utilization and Information Protection, etc. It's a quite long law, so you don't have to memorize it. So I'm just going to read what the law says. A person who commits defamation of another person by disclosing a fact to the public through an information and communications network purposely to disparage the reputation of such person shall be punished by imprisonment with labor for up to 3 years or by a fine not exceeding 30 million won. If a person discloses a false fact, not something that's not true, then the level of penalty will be heightened. So to qualify your posting as defamation violation, there are several factors to be proved. For example, like whether you had an intent to blame someone, or whether it included expressions that damage the social reputation of that person, or whether one can identify that person, and whether there is a possibility that such information can be spread easily. So in the previous case that I talked about, you might have, when you're writing the bad review, you might have included some points that would damage the social reputation of your employer, and there might be some clues that the viewers can identify the employee with the given information. And such news has high probability that can be spread among the job seekers. So it's quite tricky. But however, one thing is that you did not intend to blame the employer, but it was more of an out of good faith to inform the future applicants, right? So in this case, there was a case that a consumer wrote a bad, like the negative review online and sued by the supplier. In that case, the Supreme Court held that it does not make a defamation case if the consumer wrote a negative review based on his or her personal experience and wrote in order to help the other's decision-making process, and it's for the public interest, and then it's not considered as having the purpose of blaming that service supplier. So it's quite important to have the intent of furtherance of public interest rather than trying to venting your emotions or your feelings. Therefore, the key factor is that whether your posting is for the public interest, such as informing the public and helping them to make good choices. So even though you intend to inform others about a bad employer, if you included slangs or mainly your purpose is to blame them, or depending on your language, it can be considered defamation. So if you wrote on the job searching website to give correct information about the employer, it might be regarded as furtherance of public interest. However, if you commit a defamation, then the employer or the people, like the victim, they have two options. One is they're entitled to file a lawsuit, civil lawsuit against you, and ask for the compensation for the damage they suffered. Second would be in terms of criminal law, so they can accuse you as a commission of defamation, and the police will start investigation of your case. One thing to remember is that the defamation is a crime that the persecutor cannot press charge against the will of the victim, which means that if you settle with the victim outside of the court or outside of the prosecutor's office, then he or she can drop the case, and in that case where they can express their intent that I don't want him to be punished because I already got compensated and I just want to forgive. Then in those cases, the prosecutors cannot press charge any longer because there was a settlement already, and pressing the charge would be against the will of the victim. So if you can make a settlement with your victim, like your employer, then you can be released from the criminal proceedings. So one last advice. I advise you to write your review in a neutral tone, avoiding any use of aggressive voice, and only address the facts, not your negative feelings or venting out your emotions. You do not have to worry about being sued or accused of defamation as far as your intent was to provide correct factual information about the employer and maintain the neutral tone and appropriate language without the defamatory comment on the employer. So I hope this information helps you to understand the defamation law in Korea, and I hope you can avoid all those issues that can happen regarding writing a bad review or expressing your thoughts about the previous employers. So thank you, and this will be on GFN Radio 98.7 Hyunjoo Yeosu Jeonnam, I guess. So please listen to the radio if you can do it. It's called GFN, Hyunjoo Foreign Language Network Radio. They have a lot of good stuff, so you can enjoy the shows. And I'm on every Wednesday from 7:35 in the afternoon, so you can listen. You can also enjoy my segment on radio every Wednesday night. So bye bye.